Hello, good morning. Welcome to Joy News Desk. Coming up, members of the Coalition of Concerned Ghanaians hit the streets in what they call Yenchia demonstration to protest the controversial e-levy and economic hardship. We're live at the demonstration ground for more on this. Also this morning, youth of Adam protest the takeover of Songo Lagoon by Electrochem. We'll bring you details shortly on this one. And government yet to disburse funds for commencement of Agenda 11 project. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. We are on DTT because we're free to air on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. Please stay for details. Many thanks for choosing us. Let's begin with members of the Coalition for Concerned Ghanaians, made up of the National Democratic Congress and other pressure groups who are protesting the introduction of the e-levy. The demonstration, dubbed Yenchia demonstration, is currently underway. Demonstrators converged at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle and are expected to end at the Parliament House. Manor Kranteng is our man on the beat. He joins us live from the demonstration ground. Hello, Manuel. What more can you tell us about this demonstration? All right, so my colleague Maxwell Agbagba is also monitoring events for us. Let's hear you, Maxwell Agbagba, with more on this.
Yeah, hello?
Yes, Maxwell. Maxwell Agbagba, if you can hear me, I'm asking you to paint a picture. Maxwell Agbagba, if you can hear me, tell us what exactly is happening at the demonstration ground. Hello, Maxwell. Well, there seems to be a problem of hearing. So we'll try and fix that. And bring you updates of the demonstration which is being held by the NDC and other pressure groups. They call themselves Coalition of Concerned Ghanaians. And let's see if Maxwell Agbagba is ready for us. Maxwell, tell us exactly what is happening at the demonstration ground.
This protest is causing a gridlock here. So for people who are going to the Central Business District and their offices, the ministries area and all of that, it will be difficult for them at this point because in fact when the national youth organizer was announcing to the protesters, he told them that they are not in a hurry to go anywhere. And what it means is that they're going to take their time and walk until they get to their final destination, that is Parliament. And that is exactly what the people here are doing. We've seen quite a number of personnel from the Motor Traffic and Transport Department trying to control the flow of traffic here at Circle. But it looks like their numbers really cannot match up to what we have yet. Really does not commensurate to the hundreds of people who we've seen poured onto the streets here today. Ahead of me, there is a track quite symbolic of the people who are taking part in this protest. It cuts across, no restrictions. From people who work in corporate offices to fishermen. In fact, just some minutes ago, I saw headquarters people who usually also taking part in this protest. Quite a number of them carrying their basins and also joining this protest. I've seen the leadership of the NDC also actively taking part in this protest. We have the General Secretary of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia. I've seen him holding hands with a Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram Sam George. I've also seen the National Organizer, Joshua Akamba. So for really, it cuts across ordinary people, party executives of the National Democratic Congress, people who work in corporate offices. All of them are taking, a strong stance against the electronic transaction levy. And in fact, we've been engaging some of the people here. And the reason of many people we've been speaking to here is that they do not want the e-levy. All of them. In fact, I'm yet to meet one person who agrees or who supports the electronic transaction levy. Let's try and speak to some of the people here. Let's find out from them why they are taking part in this process. So it says what? Anchoring Democracy Advocacy Movement Ghana, Adam GH. Interesting name. What's your name? Who's your leader? What's your name?
My name is Jonathan Alomaso.
Jonathan, why are you taking part in this protest?
We are taking part because this is a civil society group who believe in the voices of the masses, and we believe that what is going on, and we need to speak and also defend the interests of the country. As we all are saying, we believe that the e-levy, the majority of Ghanaians don't believe in this very task. And this task we describe it as what? A catastrophic task. Which we believe that if the president of Ghana listens to the voice of if the president of Ghana listens to the voices of what the masses, it will help all of us. And that is why we have decided to join the demonstration.
Thank you, Adam GH. Thank you for talking to us. Now let's speak to the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Peter Boama Otokuno. He's also taking part in this protest. Maybe you help us understand the kind of people we have here who are taking part in this protest. You've seen the numbers. In a country where protests numbers really do matter. Are you satisfied with the numbers you see?
I am heavily impressed with the number, and I think that I didn't expect this number to throng out. When we were planning this demonstration, we felt that the people of this country didn't understand how monstrous the e-levy is enough. So we needed to do more to let them understand. And that before this demonstration, we needed to do some kind of town halls across the country. Little did we know that the people actually know how it affects them. And you see a wide matrix of people that have congregated here. You saw the mobile money operators, you saw the KIAs, you saw the fisherwomen and the fishermen, the fishmongers, you saw the market women, the makola women, you saw everybody who matters in this country, who forms critical part of this economy, saying out there that they abhor, they discussed the introduction of the e-levy. And the reasons are very simple. They are saying that to whom much is given, much is expected. What we have given to this government, we have not seen any positive returns from what we have given to this government. Ostensibly, what the several taxes that this government has introduced has done is to fund the luxury of the president, to fund the insatiable luxury of the president. And they think that this time around, we cannot collect money from the poor people to go and satisfy the insatiable desires of the president. When you look at the budget they presented to Parliament, almost 3.5 billion is being dedicated to the office of the president. For God's sake, this e-levy is supposed, according to them, to rake in some 6 billion. I think we will not be able to get 6 billion. Why? Because even the introduction of the levy will move a lot of people from using mobile money. But be that as it may, more than half of that money is going into funding the luxury of the president. And we think that cannot be supported. Look, if we do not do this demonstration, if you and I do not unite and fight this e-levy, tomorrow in heaven, posterity will judge us very wrongly. So that is why it is important that we all unite and do this heavy demonstration and not end it there. Continue to do this demonstration and support our minority in Parliament to be able to resist this retrogressive, oppressive tax called the e-levy.
Earlier, you talked about the monstrosity of this e-levy. But in fact, government makes us understand that indeed that is the case, that as at August 2021, it's just 8% of the population paying taxes. Government says that when we put in place this e-levy, what is going to happen is we're going to widen the tax net. For people who fall outside the tax economy, they will be included now and will have more money for development.
That is a lazy man's approach to solving problems. If you want to widen the tax net, this is not the approach. We know that Ghana has a huge tax potential, so we can do more. Now let's ask this government, last year alone, how many companies did they give them tax holidays? How many companies? To the tune of how much? We are giving tax holidays to the tune of about 15 billion. Then you want to rely on 6 billion.
You agree that some of these tax, you agree with that some of these tax exemptions are important, especially for the goods and services that you don't have the capability to produce. Some of these tax exemptions are important.
Let me tell you why you are grossly wrong. You are grossly wrong because when you look at the 15 billion that you are giving out, You are giving out 15 billion, and you are going to struggle with the poor and small businesses for 6 billion. Who does that? It is only an uninitiated, inexperienced mind that will make such an economic decision. Now, when you look at this economy,
the point I'm making is that some of these tax assumptions are important.
No, they are not important because the huge part of this economy is in the informal sector. Those in the informal sector are those who use the mobile money. So if you know that, what you do to bring out the informal sector into the middle level or the upper level of business or of the economy is to invest in structures that will make their businesses grow and make them profitable. But what this government is doing is bringing a policy that will make them less profitable, that will collapse those small businesses. Those small businesses will not be able to grow, they will not be able to compete, and they will not be able to get out there. And this is so basic, this is so fundamental. It takes only a lazy, uninitiated economic mind to be passing such a policy. You see, people are creating the impression that the NDC is against taxes. No, we are not saying that we are against taxes. After all, the most important tax in this country, we brought it. President Akufo-Addo.
Finally, what do you think is the alternative?
Let me emphasize.
Instead of the e-levy, what should we do?
Before I add my final point, I want to make the point that in the budget they brought in 2021, there were other taxes which we have agreed on. But for the e-levy, it's a very regressive tax that we cannot support because it's going to affect the poor and the vulnerable and small businesses, and that's why we are here.
Thank you. So let's engage. So let's have the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Peter Boama Otokuno, there speaking to us. Let's engage some of the protesters, some of them who really do not have positions in the NDC, who are also actively taking part in this. Let's find out from them how this e-levy is going to affect them and why they are taking part in a protest. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Edward Onim.
What do you do, sir?
I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman.
Entrepreneur, businessman. Yeah, the government says the e-levy is gonna help people like you, young entrepreneurs like yourself. So why are you taking part in this protest?
It's a palpable lie. It wouldn't affect me positively. It's rather going to make sure that people lose their jobs. So as a businessman, we need to create a productive network. As a government, we need to create a productive network, making sure that even entrepreneurs are rather giving incentives to work with. But if you are rather taking out from them, what are they going to do? So it comes to zero. So the e-levy is total no, zero. Yes.
Government says a lot of people fall outside the tax debt.
Yes.
So we want to bring those, especially in the informal economy, who make use of mobile money on daily basis, bring all of them to be part of this, to contribute to the development of this country. Don't you think it's a good idea, good thing, good way?
But the government?
Yeah, for the government to raise money.
No. This is not how
develop the country.
This is not how we develop a country. You don't take the little they have as citizens. Don't take what they have, the little they have from them. You want to give back to them. So they should find a way, an innovative way in raising revenue in the country. That's it. So I can say that this particular thing will affect the citizens negatively. Yes.
Okay. Let me talk to your friend. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Sadiq, aspiring Ashanti Regional Deputy Secretary. I'm a communication aspiring Ashanti Regional Deputy Secretary. Okay. And I'm also a communication team member for Aswasi constituency.
Well, I really didn't want to talk to people who hold positions for now.
All right.
But let me have your view.
All right.
Why are you taking part in this protest?
I'm taking part because this is a grand TV in the history of Ghana. It has never happened before. I mean, this is a government that prior to election 2016, he promised that he's not going to base on borrowing taxation. He's going to move from taxation to production. But first track, a government that has borrowed more than other presidents in the history of Ghana, a government that has borrowed about 235 billion Ghana cedis, and today cannot account for. Today, we are here as a result of some mismanagement of the economy, insensitiveness of the president, Nana Akufo-Addo, and how he has profligated Ghanaians, innocent Ghanaians' resources. Today, he has incessantly impoverished the innocent Ghanaian. He has borrowed and has taxed more than all the president that has come in this nation, but has no monumental project to show for. We are just coming from the Circle Interchange. That is an monumental project of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Out of the monies he borrowed, 75 billion Ghana cedis. And in the midst of all this, Nana Akufo-Addo is impoverishing, additionally wallowing Ghanaians. In fact, with negotiating tax of e-levy, this e-levy is nothing but a thievery.
Okay, thank you for talking to us. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Mohammed Bansi.
Why are you taking part in this protest?
Because what we have been through, we are not going to pay anything. We don't work, we don't have anything. For how many years now? 5 years now. How many of money has entered to Akufo-Addo's account?
We have enough in this country.
What do you do?
I'm a footballer.
You're a footballer?
I'm a footballer.
Okay.
Just manage it. But from now, look at my for almost about how many years now? Nana Akufo-Addo, what have he done for us? What has he to show us? What has Nana Akufo-Addo to show us? The youth are suffering. The youth are suffering. You want to pickpocket us? Nana Akufo-Addo, we will not pay.
The government says that the e-levy would alleviate your suffering. The suffering you're talking about.
Which kind of suffering? 438 billion has not done anything for the country. Only 6.something billion would you use to do something for us? Nana Akufo-Addo, don't kill us or you kill us. If you know you can't rule the country, leave the country. Akufo-Addo, you are killing us. Who don't pay? Who don't pay?
Ghana is not supposed to pay taxes.
What's your name?
My name is Razak.
Razak, what do you do?
Oh, I don't live in this country. I'm based in Germany. I came because of demonstration. I'm a fully Ghanaian.
You came to Ghana because of this demonstration? Based in Germany, what?
Oh, I live in Hamburg.
Okay.
I live in Hamburg, you understand that?
Okay.
I pay taxes to foreigners and I see how they use the taxes for. In my country, I pay taxes. I don't see what they use the taxes for. They even account for me. I don't have the right to even ask. In Ghana here, we have enough that we don't need to pay taxes. We have gold, we have diamond, we have magazine, we have box time, we have all the resources. It's not even solve our problem. It's only e-levy that can solve our problem. Last year, the Attorney General said we lost almost 2.5 billion. That 2.5 billion can save us for 2 years. So in this country, are we good in spoiling money? Are we good in destroying our resources? Is it good that our leaders steal our money? Because they need to account for us. They need to account for us because we are Ghanaian. We're not supposed to be suffering. Look at Dubai. Dubai in 1980. Dubai in 1980. In Dubai 1980. In Dubai 1980, they use their resources, all the oil money to change their country. And look at our snakes.
Thank you very much for talking to us. So like I mentioned to you earlier, we have the top brass of the NDC here also taking part in this protest. We have the General Secretary of the NDC, Johnson Osiedu Nketia, he's here. We also have the Medina MP, Francis Xavier Sosu, also taking part. Sam George Dingo Pram MP is also here. Let's speak to the General Secretary of the NDC. Let's find out from him whether he's impressed with the numbers that you've seen. Numbers are very important in a protest like this. So you're welcome to JoyNews.
Thank you, my brother.
Great. You have seen you've seen the numbers.
Yes.
In a country where numbers are important in protests like this, what do you make? What's your assessment of these numbers?
Well, the impact is not about numbers, but even then, the numbers as you see them is very, very impressive. But the point we are making is that the message I'm giving to you now, it reaches more people than those gathered here. And so the important thing is for us to be able to express the message and for the message to be carried worldwide. I'm very satisfied about the process so far.
Okay. Government tells us that, a lot of the people in Ghana are outside the tax nets. So the e-levy is one way to bring them, to pay tax. A lot of them in the informal economy. We know quite a number of people in the informal economy make use of mobile money and all of that. And they say this is an innovative way of getting them to also pay their taxes.
The problem is that the government is not credible. So what the people are saying is that this government has been playing monkey business with Ghanaians for more than 5 years now. That is the point. It's not about what they are saying. So you don't cite what liars tell you. You don't rely on what people who are not trustworthy will be communicating to you. So the problem is that there is no trust. There is a trust deficit between the citizens and the government. And so that is why it will not serve any purpose to now be arguing based on what liars are telling you.
So if the government had demonstrated the credibility, or let's say shown or proven that they can properly handle our money and account for it, then this wouldn't have a problem with that, I believe.
That is the problem. They cannot handle monies. And they have proven so far that they have messed us up. You took an economy which was rated at B+. You came down to B, came down to B-. You are now at C. So how can you tell us that we are on the right path? So you are now coming to tell us what will be a panacea for our economic problem. We are deep in an economic mess, and the word of government cannot be relied upon any longer. And so we are urging government that the business of running the country is the business of every Ghanaian. The business of building an economy which we intend handing over to the youth must concern the youth themselves. That is why the youth is coming up to say that, look, stay here. All the loans that you are acquiring, you are bringing monies that should be available to the youth in future forward for your own consumption. And you are not leaving any property. You are not engaged in any investment with which the youth will be repaying the monies when they grow old. So that is the message we are sending them. So we are on the wrong path. We are in a deep mess, and we cannot borrow ourselves out of a debt situation, and we cannot dig ourselves out of a trench.
Now, as at August 2021, only 8% of the population paid taxes, were paying taxes. What would the NDC do differently to capture those in the informal economy, to help get more money to develop this country?
With these same tax handles, with fewer tax handles, we're able to move the tax to GDP ratio to 20%. With all the millions of tax handles they have introduced, we are still at about 15%. So it means that they are doing something wrong, and which must be corrected.
Thank you. Let's speak to Dingo from MP, Sam George. Let's find out from him. Let's find out from him, what the NDC is going to do differently. We have the national youth organizer, here with us. Now, what's happening is that they want to move. They want to move to get to their destination really quick. Well, let's speak to some Ghanaians who are part of this protest. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Umar.
Umar?
Yeah.
What do you do?
I'm a trader.
You are?
I'm a trader.
A trader. Why are you taking part in this protest?
I'm taking part because everything is not moving on well. That's why I'm taking part.
Okay. If you say everything is not moving well, what exactly are you talking about?
I'm talking about the living of the country. The situation in the country now is not moving on.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for talking to us. Well, this is a side, well, you may want to call it a side attraction of this protest. That canoe over there, I'm told some fishermen are also taking part in this protest. You can see Joshua Kamba, organizer of the NDC, telling the people to take their time. This has created some kind of gridlock heading to the central business district, because a lot of vehicles are unable to move. If you work in the central business district today, well, someone mentioned to me that if you work at the central business district, as for today, you get to work tomorrow. It's exact words. We've seen quite a number of people in black as well. Hi, what's your name?
Baka, I'm Jerry.
Which constituency are you from? concerned students of Ghana?
I'm from the Ayawasu West Wagon constituency.
Oh, okay.
And of course, you know that our constituency is part of the university.
So these are the concerned students?
Yeah, concerned students.
University students of Ghana?
Yeah.
Okay, so these are all students?
Yeah, they are all students.
Okay, we'll interact with them and find out.
Yeah, there are students coming all the way from Kenya University, from UDA, students coming from almost all the universities across Ghana. And here is my national team coordinator. And because team is one of the, you know, like when you go to the tertiary institutions, we have team and we have TESCON. We've seen how this Utah strike has affected like our students on campus. So we decided to join them to embark like on this protest.
Okay, thank you. Let me speak to some of them. I'll come back to you.
Very well.
Let me find out from them why they're taking part in this protest. Hi, what's your name?
I'm Constance.
What's your name?
I'm Constance.
Okay, tell me, why are you taking part in this?
Please, you said?
I'm hearing hashtag sack the education minister.
Yeah, because we are suffering.
Suffering? How are you
Yes,
suffering?
it's been 5 weeks now. We are not learning anything. We are just in school spending money.
You are not learning. That's why you decided to take part in this protest.
Yes, we are not learning. We need our lectures back.
Okay.
We need to graduate and go far. We are the future leaders of Ghana, so we need something better.
So that's why you're taking part in this
Yes,
protest.
please. Yes.
What about the e-levy?
The e-levy is so... It doesn't make sense. Like, apparently, it doesn't make sense. Why do you charge high for common students? Assuming I'm supposed to receive something as chop money for school, only the charges will make my parents not want to send me. It's not fair.
Okay.
It's not fair. The government should do something about it.
The government should do something about it. What do you want the government to do? Because government tells us that a lot of people are in the informal economy. What it means is that they're really not paying taxes. This is a good way, an innovative way to get them to pay taxes.
We want to see to our lectures. We should see to them because we are the future leaders and we don't know what will happen in the next moment. So we want him to see to our lectures.
Okay. Thank you for speaking to us. So you had a member of the concerned university students of Ghana who are also taking part in this protest. Now so what is happening right now, I don't know if my camera technician can let us have a good view. So the groups, so when the demonstration, the protest itself started, it was a bigger group from Circle, but as we move, now it has been divided into 3 parts. We have the first people leading, so this is the second group, and then there's a third group, and I'm told there's a 4th group following us. Look at what is happening. So we have some traders who are telling the protesters, more grease to your elbow. Okay. Mama mintie mu bako. Adanti.
Wa akufado ya tu chama. Wa se ma seche ma tu chama akufado. Akufado hu se ye nkola. Oga dade. E no kase otino wa kase. Akufado ade. Je ye ntio. Wa akufado. Akufado ni je. Akufado ni baba na go school wa Ghana. Ghana education system. Wa akufado ye ntio. Akufado.
Here task no at one here na dia bu o man no nipa bebre a oboton ade o tom na ade bebre na ntua tax nti is 11 ba at least mo so metia mo to na ade aye o man ni
anya 11 na be Ghana nkwa anya 11 je do ya je do po Ghana kwan ase na ya njito enti 11 da na be ye
se mo tia to bio nti se mo tia to na na ka wo tia to do di tia
wa asem na ka na December, you have to put your mobile 4 times. Ye level no. Obia ye to my prayer. I need to seek out to account. What I told you, say ye level. You level and the Ghana. What you level? Ghana. You level and Ghana, Baba. You level and Ghana. Yeah, pay level. Yes,
Well, these are market women. These are market women. Well, they were not really part of the demonstration. Now, as the protesters are moving to their destination, you have market women standing by the side of the road, telling them thumbs up. We are not paying. We will not pay. This is the voice of resistance. This is the voice of resistance and opposition. Opposition against the E-Levy.
Hello, you live in Yenchia.
I don't know.
Yeah, because you're your member. It's Yenchia. Banana. You won't Yenchia. Yanana, Yenchia. Say your man who was school. Your mom now you sound this caca.
I want to say at one edible mine. At one edible mine. If you would chat to a passable man inside.
I might do man in Naya Bassa. I do man cross who at Yasia. I do my hammer on the jubo. Nana Dada.
The mama betting it and the boy.
My hammer betting the boy.
I don't know what's one.
My hammer, my child. I want to
you tag for bread. Not for bread. Students of years going at Monsieur was yes, yo. There is a high piece of Bronino. Not enough go for Kayentia.
We are students.
We are students. Me was here, me go squad. I'll show you that for no sort of out. Not much idea.
It cuts across. Let's speak to some of these people, some of the protesters who are sitting in this track. So, it's a long walk. Well, this is a side attraction of the protest. Eric Adam of the NDC leading this campaign here. Adam, tell us why you're taking part in this protest today.
I am taking part as a young person in Ghana, and what I'm telling the Akufo-Addo government is that enough is enough. Rising unemployment, there is corruption everywhere, and yet you want to tax more. What the government needs is no more taxes, but more sense on how to manage the little that we already have. What the Akufo-Addo government needs is not e-levy, but it's e-sense, it's integrity to be able to manage appropriately what we already have.
Yeah.
We are marching for posterity. We are marching for the good people of Ghana, and we are telling Akufo-Addo and the world that enough is enough. E-levy, we will not pay today, we will not pay tomorrow. And we are ready to fight and fight and fight until the e-levy is taken out from Parliament completely.
Thankfully, you are a young person. The government says the e-levy is to help young people like yourself, entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, create jobs for the teeming number of young people in this country. Is that what you're kicking against?
That is very ridiculous. Very ridiculous, and it's a fallacy. You know why?
Tell me.
This government is projecting to raise 6.9 billion from the e-levy. They tell us it is the same e-levy they will use to construct roads. Already, government is owing contractors, road contractors alone, 4.5 billion. Every sector.
The roads and highways minister says that we will be able to pay road contractors when the e-levy comes into force.
A government that has accumulated 342 billion, but has messed up with it. They were corrupt. They could not create jobs with it. You think it is 6.9 billion that will help them to create jobs? It is not possible. They are only telling stories. As we speak, every minister tells us they are depending on 6.9 billion e-levy. Can that create jobs? Is that realistic? Even our budget deficit alone is about 13 billion. So the e-levy is not even enough to cover for the budget deficit. So what are they talking about? They are taking the people of Ghana for granted, and we are here to march against them and let them know that enough is enough and we will not accept it.
Okay, thank you for talking to us. So you just have there an executive of the NDC, Eric Adam Agbana. This is a long walk. Not a long walk to freedom. Well, maybe it could be freedom at last. But this is a long walk of opposition and resistance to the electronic transaction levy. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm yet to meet one person who supports the e-levy. I'm here. I've seen some headquarters over there. Let's speak to them. Let's find out from them. This is how they started the protest, you know, from Circle. This is how they started the protest, you know, from Circle. Let's get closer to them. Let's find out from them why they are taking part in this protest. Hello. Monsieur Adiano, your friend say? Sharifa. Okay. Muntichi. Okay. You see my leader no way anyone. Okay. Let me get a leader. Let's speak to the leader. Let's find out why they're taking part in this protest. Where is Jamila? Okay, Jamila is the leader. Jamila, talk to me. What's your name? What's your name, Jamila?
I'm Jamila Mohammed.
Jamila Mohammed. Are you the president?
Yes.
President?
I'm for leader. Okay,
so you're the leader of the KIA.
Yes.
Why are they taking part in this?
Yeah, but that's not an advocate say. You bet you are no because Bawumianka Sabaheno, Bawumia say tax, young to your tax. Wanu or bad power, young to your tax. Bande, everyone was say, Bawumia to me, Gina, Eka say a bet to your tax.
Okay. Well, Jamila is a leader for the headquarters here who are also taking part in this protest. And she's saying that the Vice President, Mahmoud Bawumia, told them that they will not pay tax. That was in the heat up to the elections. But she's surprised now that he's the one talking about the payment of taxes.
The NTIC and your tax. Yakuya Gayo for Yakwa Swa, Yanaka and Suya. Ukwa, Unyakura, Ebia 20 cities and 30 cities. A week of Sumas and the woman send this Kama woman no more. It is as yes, only 100 cities. A week now with the Besenia woman Mia. Let us have a tax woman in a becca.
Who's sending 100 cities one day now? I know young taxi, I know. But Ebia one day who's sending more than 100 cities and never tax.
I don't know what I'm missing tax in the dear young to me to ya. I'm one cassa on my papa, why I bet you are tax. I'm one cat tax. I said, why to me to ya.
Jamila is talking about remittances to their families who do not live in the Greater Accra region. And she's concerned that after hardest work, they should have to remit money to her relatives. She would have to pay tax. You know, that's the e-levy, and that's what she's concerned about. And she says that's why they're taking part in today's protest. Iti, how many are you?
Yeah, also.
Where's I?
Yeah, 100 and
100.
Okay.
Now, idea we in nature, no, say government, so at the tax no by then on 11 no by then.
So I go so the kanwa. Yeah, 24 years. Say ya na etu abanu man. Ya na etu abanu. Amano e na oba power no so no. And then what you say oba my tax ama etu ya. Enti so say on yi fu musu a. E no dey nya hwe. Ya nim say entu abanu man no. Ya entu man no china pio. Oni ba wom lai.
Well, she says if government goes ahead to impose this tax on them, it would have political implications. She says it would have political implications, and you're not going to vote. You're not going to vote for the new Patriotic Party in the 2024 general elections. It's quite hot here. It's been a long walk, like I mentioned. There's a gridlock on this stretch leading to the central business district because of this protest, and the protesters are not in a hurry at all. In fact, that is what their leaders have told them, not to walk fast. So you may be in a vehicle thinking that you will not be affected by this protest, but definitely it will be difficult for you to get to the central business district. I can see ahead of me, about 500 meters ahead of me, there is no vehicle ahead of me because the protesters have blocked the streets. Come, let's go.
Look at the size of 22 Kenke. 2 cities. 2 cities. Kenke. Kenke.
This is big.
Come again.
This is big.
If it is big, it's 5 cities. No, 5 cities. 5 cities. So these 2 cities, Kenke, Ghana that we are now. And look at the leaders that is ruling us. Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia, they are totally killing this nation. Bawumia vote them out of power.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, what I will do is that I will campaign for.
What do you do?
Well, I'm an unemployment officer.
Unemployment officer?
Yeah.
How is this e-levy going to affect?
No, it's totally affect my psychologically, even my family. Those that I have to be caring for, that somebody is taking the responsibility of those people, and which is very bad in my life. So therefore, I came here purposely to campaign vigorously against this Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia leadership. Now, John Dramani Mahama borrowed 56 billion. Now we can even point out infrastructures, interchange, hospitals, markets. Look at the Kenke. 1 Kenke, 2 cities. It's very shameful. This the economic guru that we have in Ghana. These are the Kenke that we are having now. Very shameful. Thank you.
What's your name?
Massa, this e-levy is a criminal e-levy. It's a killer budget. This e-levy is a killer budget, Massa. We will die. They are criminals. They want to steal our money. Criminals.
So you have the excerpts of, and also demonstrators who are demonstrating and protesting the e-levy and UTAC strike. Mostly they are concerned, and you heard Maxwell Agbagba speak with a number of them over there. We'll cross over to that place and get more of the demonstration, but right now let's take you to Adan, where youth of Adan have poured on the streets protesting the takeover of the Songo Lagoon by Electrochem Ghana for salt mining. The indigents, who say they are the custodial owners of the Songo Lagoon, insist the mining lease granted to Electrochem Ghana Limited to mine salt in the area does not take into consideration the economic plight of the locals whose sole livelihood depends on the Songo Lagoon. Our reporter Kwame Yanka has joined us right now for more. Kwame Yanka, what more can you tell us about this?
Hello?
Kwame Yanka, tell us more about this Songo Lagoon brouhaha.
Okay, so residents of communities along the Songo Lagoon are protesting this morning. They're actually on the streets of Adan to drum home their concerns, just telling government that, yes, they might have released, government might have released Songo area to Electrochem and the Magdan Group to, as it were, mine salt, but then they would want the right procedures to be taken. by consulting the stakeholders, not just limiting consultation or past engagement to the traditional authority, because to them, their leadership isn't doing much for members of the community, so they have to voice things out. They intended doing this some days earlier, but then there was an injunction which was supposed to be placed on this very demonstration, but then they were served quite late yesterday, so it wasn't what to restrain them to embark on this demonstration this morning. So members of these communities gathered at Big Adan. Then as I speak to you, they are actually they've gathered around the Asafutu Park to listen to what their leadership will tell them.
Sianka with more on this Songo Lagoon brouhaha. Let's listen to the people themselves in the video showing on your screen shortly. We'll take a break on News Desk. We'll bring your business shortly. To JoyNews Desk, we can go back to the Yenchia demonstration and hear more on the ground. My colleague Maxwell Agbagba is there for us. All right, so as Maxwell Agbagba prepares to get us more on the e-levy and UTAC strike protest, let's look at government that says 92 sites for being identified for implementation of Agenda 11 District Hospital. 41 of those sites have challenges that are related to the terrain. The Health Ministry, however, notes that 63 sites have been cleared for construction to begin. It will be recalled that government secured $100 million startup fund through the Ghana Investment Infrastructure Fund for the commencement of works on Agenda 111 District specialized and regional hospitals across the country. Project coordinator for Agenda 111, Kwabena Nyakun, says the government is yet to disburse 10% of funds to some contractors to commence work, while projecting that by the end of March 2022, 67 sites will begin working.
Out of the 101 district hospitals that were designated, 92 sites have been identified and are available for work. 41 of those had some challenges, and those are mainly to do with the terrain. So we've had to look at some alternative arrangements for that. 51 of those are fine. Processes have started. So as we speak, 63 of those sites have been cleared and are ready. There's a whole list. I believe that the Ministry of Information will furnish you with all the additional details. The contractors, the plan is to pay them some mobilization. So 10% of their contract sums will be paid as advance mobilization. 138 of those have been paid. They are mobilizing to site. Some have actually started work on site. I have a list of at least 10 sites that work has actually started, and quite a bit of work is going on. I'll touch on the psychiatric hospitals because I think the gentleman raised the issue. There are 2 psychiatric hospitals as part of the program in the Middle Belt and the Northern Belt. All the technical details have been completed, the drawings. We had to do soil tests for all the 92 sites that have been identified. We had to do geotechnical investigation, soil test, and also the topography. We had to send surveyors to all these sites to go and survey the sites and establish the topography and so on. So that has all been done. So work will be commencing very soon on the psychiatric hospitals. Also on the regional hospitals, we went through a tender process. The contractors have submitted their tender. It's being evaluated as we speak. And following from that, it will go through a value for money process, and all the commercial arrangements will go through Parliament and so on. Same applies to the Accra Psychiatric Hospital.
Phone. With one hand or your two thumbs are mostly at work.
Alright, so basically I prefer using both hands, because in situations where, let's say, you want to type fast, you prefer to use both hands so that at least it will fasten your type. And also, let's say if you are not busy with your other hand, you also add that hand just to type.
I use both hands for typing mostly because I feel comfortable when I'm doing that.
I use my one hand for typing.
Of course, those who typed with both thumbs were fast. Dr. Kester Kwestafechi of the Ghana Technology University College believes emerging designs should be more inclusive and meet the demands and attitudes of older generations who are more excited at the prospect of using technology than their younger colleagues.
Even when you look at the keyboard settings, or you have different types of phones with how you handle it, you realize that you find it more comfortable working with one phone compared to working with the other phones also as well. And the more you age, the more difficult it is for you to have much more typing speed, unlike where you have young people who are able to do that. And nowadays, it's easy for you to even predict people that are behind the computers based on their typing patterns and how they interact with the computer as well, gives a form of a profile of the user. I think the best approach is the predictive testing, where if in case based on how the phone that they use is able to understand them based on the keywords and other things they use often, those tools can help them in speeding up their typing. And then the speech to text also in the future will make it much more better for the older generations to be able to use their voice more to type and send messages rather than using the keypad. Because even as far back as year before, John Hopkins was still using his mind, his blinking, and other things to communicate. And voice to speech or speech to text has been advanced over the years. So we can catch up with most of the things that makes it difficult for them to type in using their tongue. So in the future, some of these technologies will make it much more easier.
Reporting for JoyNews, Kwesi Deborah.
So that's what explains how the computers that hit the mainstream, while the older guys in the office always be seen typing using only 2 index fingers, while the younger tech-savvy colleagues use all their fingers on keyboard quickly and fluently. And that's the story of smartphones. A new study that revealed younger users adapt a 200 approach using both thumbs to type, while older generation users type their phone in one hand and type with one finger. And that was a report by Love FM's Kwesi Deborah. And that'll be it for News Desk. We'll be bringing you international news and showbiz shortly. Time to check out what's making headlines. Libyan Prime Minister Abdul Hamid Al-Deiba has survived an apparent assassination attempt by unknown assailants. Several rounds struck his car as it was being driven through the capital, Tripoli, early on Thursday. The gunman fled the scene. And that does it for World News. That'll be it for News Desk. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Enjoy the rest of our programs.